I've been using the Elgato Wave XLR for over a year and a half now. Here's what it does, what I like and what I don't like, and my recommendation on whether you should buy it. So the Wave XLR is an audio interface. Its primary purpose is to let you use an XLR microphone with your computer. You plug an XLR microphone into it using an XLR cable. You can get one from Elgato, but I just got my own. Now right now you're listening to the Shure MV7 plugged into this audio interface, and I'm monitoring myself with the Critical 02 also in the interface, and I'll be using 3 other XLR microphones so that you can hear how those sound in this audio interface as well. Now Wave XLR connects to your computer using a USB-C to USB-A cable, but you can use C to C if you want. Also that background noise, it's my PC. Newly built, it's got a lot of fans in there and a massive dual tower cooler. So you're going to be hearing that coming in through the microphone, but Elgato has some really cool features in the Wavelink software to help get rid of that noise. And I'll be demonstrating how useful that is in a little bit, so just stick with me. Now switch on over to the Audio Technica AT2020, put on the 48 volts of phantom power. To talk about the features, but that background noise, it's so ridiculous because this is a condenser microphone, super sensitive. So let me skip really quickly to one of the features of the Wavelink software. This button down here, you can add a bunch of different effects, and one of the effects is the Elgato noise removal. And here's what it looks like. I'll go ahead and turn this on. And now as I'm speaking, that super obnoxious noise from my PC fans, it's not getting through in the microphone nearly as much. So let me go ahead and continue to talk about the features. This supplies up to 75 dB of gain. It's clean gain too, so this has enough to power the Shure SM7B. All 4 of the XLR microphones that I have. It can drive headphones as well. Every gaming headset that I plugged into here, I can power those really loud, no problem. But the in-ear monitors that I'm using specifically are the 7Hz X Critical 0, and for those I need this low impedance mode, otherwise there's going to be just some static in the background, and I don't really like that, but I like that they have the low impedance mode. So things to note is that you can't actually use the low impedance mode without this Wavelink software. Now on the interface itself, you have these icons at the bottom for mic, headphones, and the headphone mix. There's also an icon for the 48 volts of phantom power. There's a capacitive mute button on the back. As for the ports to the back, XLR input, 3.5mm headphone jack input, and USB-C. Now the dial in the middle can be rotated left or right, and it's infinite scroll, and you can click it in the middle to switch between the mic, headphones, or the headphone mix. Holding it in for a couple seconds will activate or deactivate the phantom power. So if you have a dynamic microphone, you don't need it, but if you have a condenser, you do need it to actually activate the microphone. The mic gain and the headphone gain is pretty straightforward, but the headphone mix, if you go all the way to the right, that's going to be sound that's coming out of your PC. It's also sound that's coming out of the Wavelink software. If you have that activated, it'll be playing some sound back. And then all the way to the left is sound that is coming from mic monitoring itself. Like as I'm speaking into this microphone, I can hear myself in real time. There's a very, very slight delay. But if you're using like an equalizer and you wanted to hear your audio effects in real time, then you'd move this over to the right. And then, for example, the Elgato EQ, I'd be able to see this and hear exactly how it's sounding in my headphones, because that's what I'd ultimately be having out to my stream mix. And I'll talk a little bit about that in the moment. I actually do not have this activated right now though, because I have it off. And again, this is that noise removal. So if I have that noise removal off, then yeah, you're gonna hear a ton of that background noise. Switching to the Elgato Wave DX microphone, the Elgato Wave XLR can be used without the Wavelink software, but this audio interface does give you access to this software. So you can make this software kind of complicated. You can add a bunch of different channels of audio so that you can mix. If you're a streamer and you have a lot of different audio sources, stream alerts, you have people talking to you in the voice chats in game or on Discord, and then you have your own microphone. Wherever you want to get your sound sources, you can add them all as inputs here, and then you can mix the volumes of them like that. Personally, my streams have never been that complicated, but let's start over here with the inputs. This is the Elgato Wave XLR. You can change this to 48 kilohertz or 96. So just have this at 48 because that's what I'm recording in right now in OBS. A lot of these are things that you can actually control on the interface itself with the wheel. So this input gain, I can actually just change this right here just because I'm just actually physically moving the wheel. 48 volts phantom power, you can click that in if you want, or you can just do it here. The volume for the headphone jack, low impedance mode, something that I actually do need specifically for these earbuds. Now, a lot of people use a low cut filter. Now, just a quick demonstration, I'll put this to 120. I'm gonna bump like the desk, and I'll turn this off. And you won't hear as many of the rumbles when that low cut filter is on, a lot of those like kind of booms, but I don't really like to keep that on personally myself, but it is useful if you need it. Clip guard will stop the mic from peaking or popping when I'm going over a certain dB. So if you notice, I'll speak really loudly and the clip guard's able to prevent me from peaking. And on the audio interface itself, it'll have like a little light you can see. I've never actually had a reason to use the wave gain lock because I don't personally have any programs that have auto adjusted my mic yet. You can actually change the colors of the light. So a lot of simple settings that you can control here, and then you can save them to the device itself. But honestly, what I really like down here is these effects. So by default, there really aren't a lot, just the EQ and the noise removal. And you're gonna have to be to the latest version of the software to get these. It's really simple. It's just an on or off. Have it on or you have it off. And now the audio is so much better. I can hear that immediately. This is something that I really like. I've used a lot of different noise reduction filters and softwares, but I think that this one does a pretty good job of decreasing the noise, but not having your voice like sound overly metallic or anything like that. So I really like to keep this on. Next is the EQ, and I'll go ahead and show you what this is. I'll turn this on. I have it pretty simple, and I love how this EQ, let me go ahead and move this so that you can see, shows as you're speaking. Yeah, this is the boom and the warmth. That's the type of body that I like. That if you're using certain microphones, I really like this. And this microphone, the Wave DX, it just doesn't emphasize that really all that much by itself. And this right here is the stream output. So let me go ahead and show what this looks like in OBS. So in this program, if I go to mic, properties, wavelength stream, and that's the effects that are applied from the wavelength software onto this microphone. And see how there's just like a bunch of different inputs for the wavelength software. It can get pretty confusing. Switching over to the Samson Q2U, this leads over to the last part of this review, the things that I don't really like about the Wave XLR. So back to the wavelength software, as good as it is, like I said, it adds a lot of bloat. Amazing features though. Again, I'm going to turn this noise reduction filter on. Even though this is a dynamic microphone, those fans, they do not play. Now let me show you something that's absolutely mind-blowing with this software. Let's say you wanted to change your audio source, like you plugged into new headphones or a new microphone or whatever, and or didn't automatically switch. Oh, let me go ahead and just switch to those. Look at all of these inputs that Elgato adds to your computer. Wavelength music, system, game, SFX, all of these. It's just so much bloat. I'm like, wow. Look at this at the bottom right here. Every time you click on this to change one of the different audio sources, you just have all these every single time, and it's just an absolute nightmare to like toggle between all of them. So I wish there was a button to just kind of like disable that or get rid of that. But anyway, other than that, the only thing that I don't really like about this audio interface is just the body itself. It's really easy to accidentally move that dial and then increase or decrease the gain. Also, that capacitive mute button, that's actually really annoying. That's probably the number one thing that I don't like. I don't know why it's on the back and just in that position. So easy to accidentally press and then mute your microphone when you're moving it. If your just hand is just over there, like if you're grabbing something or when you plug something in or unplug it. But other than that, this is an amazing audio interface. And if you have an XLR microphone, then I highly recommend getting this. And if you're looking into an XLR microphone, then you can be assured that this is going to give you enough gain and enough clean gain, even if you're using the Shure SM7B, to give you the best experience out of your XLR mic.